Welcome to After Hours, our exclusive premium content for you guys, our top shelfers. And today what I wanted to talk to you guys about was my experiences going to Yellowstone. I remember I was going on a 3-week road trip out west with my friend Nick and my other friend Trevor. They're both from, lived in Texas A&M at the time. We were all in college, and while we were traveling out west, we were going to essentially go to the Grand Canyon and hit up every single national park from Arizona all the way to Alberta, because we were stopping in Calvary, and whatever we wanted to do in between is whatever we wanted to do in between. And national parks, man, that's what we wanted to do. And I remember asking my two friends, I'm like, there's just one national park that I really want to see, and that's Yellowstone. Mostly because I wanted to go see the bison. Bison are my favorite animal, but also because Yellowstone is a marvel in and of itself. It's famous for a reason, not just for being the first national park, but also because it's freaking gorgeous. It's amazing to see. And I remember the day before we started heading out to Yellowstone, we had actually camped. We were in southeastern Idaho, and we woke up in the morning and it was 15 degrees out. It was so brutally cold. I was shivering in my sub 20 degrees sleeping bag, and I woke up to see my friend Nick smoking his tobacco pipe just to keep his hand warm. And we both said, are we good to go? He goes, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna, take the tent, just crumple it up really quickly and throw it into the back of the car and let's get out of here, right? And I was like, all right, cool, give me your pipe while you do that so I can keep warm. And so we immediately throw our stuff into the back of the car and we're heading towards Yellowstone, and we stop by a town called West Yellowstone. And in West Yellowstone, we stopped and had breakfast. And let me tell you guys, there's nothing more glorious than a warm restaurant after you slept in below freezing temperatures. So getting to the restaurant was just a saving grace. It put me in a great mood. I was going to go see Yellowstone. I had coffee, I had bread. I was so happy. And then I finally get to Yellowstone, and oh my gosh, it's a place unlike any else. You just look around and you see these gorgeous pools. They're, prismatic, like I say in the show. They're blues and yellows and oranges and reds, and it's all coming from the collection of minerals and the bacteria, and also, it's the volcano that's underneath, and you're not even really thinking about the danger of the supervolcano. You're just in awe of the beauty. And I guess that's just one of the things when you encounter, something beautiful, is that you are truly in awe of it. And we walked around. It was probably our easiest hike of the entire trip, because there are boardwalks all around throughout the landscape, because you don't want to fall into any mud piles, or you don't want to, get burned by a geyser or fall into the pools, because as pretty as the pools are, they're so hot that bacteria that loves heat can't really live in them. So they're entirely sanitary, I guess you could say, but they would also kill you. So there's that part. So admire from afar, but it was so beautiful to walk around that landscape. And then we finally ended up getting to Old Faithful, and I even have this video here of me, taking, pictures and the video of watching Old Faithful, gush forth. The most famous geyser, every 74 minutes or so, it bursts forth, and that's why it's called Old Faithful. But we were walking around throughout the entirety of the park, and you can see that there are geysers littered throughout the land. And some of them will erupt every 10 years, some every 20 years, some every 100 years. And it was really cool that we were actually able to time it so that we could see some of the geysers, bursting forth. And the landscape was just gorgeous. The wildlife was incredible. I even have this video here where we were passing in the road. We saw there was a bison. It looked like a mother bison. I think her 2 calves were behind her, and it was so cool because they were so close to the car. Everybody's driving really slowly on the roads because we're just admiring the wildlife, and I almost became giddy from the sight of my favorite animal. I thought it was so cool. They're so big, right? And imposing, and it was just incredible to see. And Yellowstone is as fantastical as people once thought it was. Prior to 1871, it was always people thinking, this place, it doesn't really exist. It can't exist. A place with geysers, a place with, rainbows on the ground, like these majestic pools. There's no way it could exist, but it does, and it is so cool to see. Even in some of the coldest weather that you may have. Like I said, I woke up in 15-degree weather. You get to Yellowstone and it's just so warm, right? You have heat just bursting forth from the ground, and you smell all the minerals. You smell the sulfur. You smell the sulfur, and you smell all these other minerals that are coming out from the heat. And it's almost like getting hugged by nature when you walk through the steam. And it's so incredible. And it was one of my favorite places. It has forever, stayed in the back of my mind as one of my favorite experiences from the trip. And if I could recommend anything to you, my top shelfers, is if you get a chance to go out west, or if you're a fan of nature or hiking at all, even if you're not really a fan of hiking, I would still say go, because the hike isn't really difficult. It's gorgeous. You'll never see a place like it, not at least in the United States, in my opinion. And you'll always remember that experience, because nature is just unfurled in dramatic beauty in Yellowstone. And for that, I will always be thankful to have that experience. Cheers.